Hey, y'all. I'm Bud Elliott, and this is Cover 3 College Football Summer School. We've done our research on the teams, and now we're bringing on the top team experts from the 24/7 Sports Network to help us fill in the blanks. Please follow us on Twitter at Cover3 Podcast. That's Cover3 Podcast. And leave us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. All right. Class is in session. Hey, guys. Bud Elliott here, and welcome back into another edition of Summer School on the Cover3 College Football Podcast. And today, we're excited to be talking about Arkansas State with Jeff Reed of AStateNation. Jeff, what's going on?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Can't complain, man. Just this is about the 12th one of these that I've done today, and excited to learn more about Arkansas State. It was obviously a year of change under Butch Jones, and it was a difficult year. I think the Vegas ratings had them about 119th in the country, and they were exciting at times, but kind of less often effective, I guess we could say.
Yeah, it was really a major transition year. Butch Jones took over, and Butch knew that the talent level and the roster had some issues. He got here and got into it and discovered there were even more issues. As a matter of fact, he told me the story that after they defeated UCA in the opener, he was up at 4 a.m. pondering the team, and his wife came to him and said, "Won't you come back to bed?" And he looked at her and said, "We won't win another game." You know, the roster was so depleted. Now they did win another game, and they had a chance to win a couple more back down the stretch, but they got away. But it was a transition year, no doubt. Where was already half the roster was already turned over. There'll be even more turned over going into next year, and this will probably be a big week for that because the portal deadline is coming up at the 1st of May. So there'll be, I know there've already been at least 3 guys this week. None of them major contributors who have entered it. And they're all guys that were with the previous coaching staff, Blake Anderson, that they his guys. And it's a different world in Jonesboro now. It's just, everything is just so much more focused and disciplined and on task, and where different type coaches, different type styles. Butch is more a straight online, do it this way type of guy, where Anderson was probably more of a players type coach.
For sure. And I think you see a lot of programs kind of ebb and flow from a players to more disciplinarian, to back
there's usually a back and forth on that. Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. So last year, I thought the offense was certainly the better half of the team, 108th in the nation in overall efficiency, but they had some dudes who could really get open. They didn't always catch the ball from my watching them on TV.
Oh, man.
But they could get open. They had Lane Hatcher chucking it around, as well as James Blackman, a kid who I've seen since he was a sophomore in high school down here in Florida. Corey Ruckers transferred off to South Carolina, one of the top receivers, but they got some other players back who have some ability. What are you seeing from the offense this year, Jeff?
Well, last year may have been the worst team I've ever seen for dropping passes. I mean, and it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. It seemed like it was contagious, and everybody caught it. Even Rucker, who had several really nice offers, he had his issues with it. Trevalance Hunt, who's back, he had issues. I think what's happened at Arkansas State offensively is you're going to see probably less of a wide receiver oriented offense. Butch really loves the tight end, and they've recruited very well at the tight end position and have 3 really good guys there, plus a holdover senior. But I think he likes that because I think it's a good place to create a mismatch with usually a linebacker having to cover long, lean, fast, athletic tight ends. Still trying to work on running the ball. The offensive line is, as Butch likes to say, a work in progress. They have made progress. I think they're better than they were last year.
Okay.
But I think one thing that will help this team is Blackman showed in the spring game some mobility. He actually even ran the ball a couple of times, which he really didn't. Lane Hatcher was pretty much, once the pocket collapsed, he was done. He was barely 6 feet and not the fastest guy, so there was no way to evade things, and it pretty much went down. And they had a real good freshman that looks really good, a kid named Jackson Daly out of Iowa. big 6'3" lefty that is at. You hear this all the time. He's advanced beyond his years. I mean, he really looks smooth and calm. And I don't know how much they plan on using him. They're getting a P5 transfer from Miami, Ohio, that I think is going to kind of bridge the gap, because you had James as a senior, then you had a bunch of freshmen behind him. So you kind of got a guy, but I think it's going to be Blackman's job. The transfer will probably be the backup unless Daly just really emerges. I think they want to redshirt him, and then next year going on, then the other two, they can battle for the position. I think it's going to probably be, unforced errors killed them, and it drives Jones crazy, like drop passes, and they didn't really have a big issue fumbling the ball, but they threw interceptions, and it was really a rough year and a transition year. And defensively, early on, it was atrocious, but a lot of that had to do with the schedule. I mean, they had to go to Washington. They had a good Memphis team. They had Coastal Carolina, which was really good. They had App State, and they played some really good teams early on. If you go back and look, the second half of the season, defensively, they only gave up around 26, 27, 28 points a game. And you go, wow, that's still a lot. But in this day and time, it's not really, because the game is so offensive oriented now, and all the rules are done to help the offense, that, if you could hold somebody under 30, you got a shot to win. And that's, like I said, they had a chance to win 3 games late in the year that they lost. That, if they're 5-7, things aren't quite looking as bad as they were, but they didn't get those. And so far they're 2-10 going into 22.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff, to your point, they finished 124th in defense rating, and starting out the year, I mean, they were just off the charts bad. I was like, you can't be worse than UMass and schools like that. And
exactly. Which
they
is on the schedule this next year.
Yeah, well, that's helpful for sure. I do have some questions about some of these dudes who have transferred out along the defensive line. I saw Scott transferred and Hampton transferred, and so with that, I mean, that's 4 of their top 5 returning guys either graduated, I believe, or have transferred out, unless I'm wrong on that, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's that was another thing that, looking back at what happened to last season, you had 5 guys that 4 of them were probably 4 of your top 7 or 8 players on the team transferred out, and Butch was left with that. Terry Hampton is a defensive lineman they were counting on. Vidal Scott just kind of, I don't know. He just decided he wanted to move, and he's going to Eastern Michigan. Now Hampton has gotten some really nice offers. I've seen, just looking on Twitter today. So he'll probably be a P5 guy for sure. That'd be an area that they'll focus on. I talked
in the portal, you mean?
Yeah. They're going to wait and see what really, I imagine the last day of May will probably be like, blue light special at Kmart. It'll be going crazy, and there'll be guys popping in there. Some you think, why, and Butch wants to build the program through high school players, but, at the same time, if you can get a portal guy that's in his first or second year, it's not a bad thing, because now they don't have that immediate transfer that they can fall back on. Because they've already burned it. So that's, we'll see what happens. They got the young man out of Vanderbilt that's coming in to play, that defensive lineman that is Sujic, he's from a Jersey kid. They really think highly of him. He'll get playing time. They've moved a Hassler kid, a defensive end, inside, but I really think they'd like to add some experience depth in there. The defensive ends position looks really good right now. Linebackers looking better, safeties looking better. So they've got some pieces that have been better, but they're really going to have to shore up that interior defensive front.
For sure. Are you expecting this defense to be better overall this year? Or do you think that was played kind of at the level they played at the end of last year?
Well, one thing about their improvement, their schedule kind of got more toward their talent level, which helped. The schedule this year is not nearly as bad. Yeah, no, you start with Grambling, then you go to Ohio State, which, that's kind of give me the money, let me go back home type
Yeah,
thing.
that's a paycheck game for sure.
Go to Memphis, and you don't really know. Memphis, there's two schools that's 70 miles apart. There's some rivalry there. And as bad as Arkansas State was last year, the last play of that game, they're throwing a Hail Mary into the end zone to win it. I mean, so they had a shot. So the schedule is a lot more favorable from they get Old Dominion and James Madison from the east with the new enlarged Sun Belt. They have to play Southern Miss because they're a divisional foe now. So Butch is not as discouraged about the schedule as it was last year. It's just last year. I mean, I think they played in Washington and had to come back home, which is a long trip, and then turn around and play a conference opener on a Thursday, and it was just was not, he was furious about the schedule. He really was. Got a little bit better one this year, and I think that will help. But I think the people that they've added, now they really got to stay healthy on the inside, on the interior. And of course, a lot of that depends on what they're able to add. But but I think there's no question the defense will be better.
Awesome. Jeff, really appreciate the time today. Everybody needs to follow State Nation for all your Arkansas State sources out there. We'll have to have you back on for a little fall preview action.
Hey, anytime. Let me know.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, that's the bell. Cover 3 College Football Summer School is over for today. But don't worry. We'll be back soon with even more episodes filling you in on the top teams in college football. Please give us those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at Cover 3 Podcast. And we'll see y'all soon.